Kartonok is the ComedyMX channel for kids of all ages, from 9 to 99. Whether your passion runs from classy cars to classic cartoons, from Howdy Doody to Coco the Clown, or from Space Patrol to Buffalo Bill Jr., visit Kartonok and watch all day. Turn your world upside down.
On the famous Ford test track at Dearborn, Michigan, designers, engineers, and test drivers have been working ever since VJ Day, working to create a completely new automobile. The Ford Motor Company has been working on plans and conducting special tests for a car that could be truly acclaimed, new from the ground up. A car with every feature engineered in balance to produce a brilliant new creation in the automotive world. Day after day, hundreds and hundreds of tests and experiments were made in the constant quest of a goal. The quest for proof that here was the engineering achievement supreme, combining riding comfort, beauty, durability, and economy. Proof of new safety, new power, and unrivaled roadability. Tests that mean proof, absolute proof, that the new Ford is a car created for leadership. Here is the Ford in your future. The achievement supreme in modern automotive styling. Beauty combined with comfort, safety, and performance. The new four-door custom sedan is a perfect example of the balanced engineering built into every model of the new 1949 line. For example, the longer, lower, streamlined, completely new appearance of a car is a styling achievement combined with practical engineering. The new Ford is a full 4 inches lower, but the road clearance is practically the same. The interior, or seating space, is larger and a full 5 inches forward. The rear seat is well ahead of the rear axle, giving all passengers a truly cradled midship ride. The luxurious interior is designed and engineered for lounge car comfort. The richly upholstered seats are more comfortable because they are wider by far than ever before. The floors are flatter for comfort and convenience in entering or leaving the car. There's more seating room, more shoulder room, and still more headroom too. And the front seat is a full 8 inches wider to ensure complete comfort when 2 people are sitting with the driver. Yes, the Ford in your future is new, all new. It's designed to give the ultimate in comfort, more style and beauty than has ever been attained in a low-priced car. The 1949 Ford Custom Station Wagon 2 is dramatically new from the ground up. The handsomely streamlined body is steel, all steel, under the richly paneled wood. The entire car is a combination of new safety and new beauty. For the roof, too, is safety steel welded to the all-steel body. Smart 2-door styling provides doors that are massive and extra wide for easy entrance and exit. Here again is engineered convenience. For greater convenience and extra storage space, the spare tire is mounted on the luggage gate, and the rear seat can be easily removed to provide extra storage space. This model is the enchantingly new Ford Club Coupe, one of the most popular models in the entire 49 line. This is particularly true when there are children in the family. The space back of the driver is equipped with a cozy and comfortable seat, safe for children away from doors and latches. In fact, safety and comfort is a major part of the balanced engineering in every feature of the car. For example, one of the most outstanding and pleasing of these features is the revolutionary new fresh air ventilating system. With this 3-way system, air from the outside is taken in through large air scoops, conditioned for comfort, and then circulated throughout the car. Thus, the air inside the car is always abundant and fresh, continuously changing under gentle pressure. eliminating fogging windows and uncomfortable drafts. In the 49 Ford, year-round passenger comfort is provided by this new fresh air ventilating system, an exclusive feature available in all new models. Other features include luxurious interior appointments like the attractive instrument panel, newly designed for complete driver convenience. The instruments, grouped directly in front of the driver, can be easily seen through the steering wheel by day as well as by night when the new black light illuminates the dials without the slightest possible glare. The interior light switch is located for greater convenience too. It's on the left side, just above the driver's shoulder. And even the new door latches have been thoughtfully designed for greater safety and convenience. And what's more, it's impossible to lock yourself out of the new Ford because the last door to be closed must be locked by key. And speaking of features, the beautiful new Ford Business Coupe has an almost unbelievable capacity for storage. Traveling businessmen appreciate the extra-large carrying space back of the seat. Over 25 cubic feet of space for sample cases and other business equipment. Here again is a car completely engineered to a purpose, yet with the same ultra-smartness and styling found in every model in the line. Another brilliant model is the Ford two-door sedan. Here again is new, smart, longer, lower streamlined styling. The luggage compartment of the Ford in your future is larger, much larger. In fact, the deep deck luggage locker has 28.5 cubic feet of completely usable space. Luggage for the entire family can be conveniently stored for travel. Yet the spare tire is always accessible, combining practical convenience with new style and beauty. The gay new Ford Custom Convertible is the car of the year for youth at any age. Its dashing style and graceful lines make it a showpiece, even in the smartest settings. And the automatic easy latch top moves up or down in effortless seconds, quickly turning a snug sedan into a breezy sunshine car. The Ford in your future also gives you a substantial increase in economy and performance. The six-cylinder engine is the newest, most modern of all the sixes in the low-price field. It is a brand new 95 horsepower engine designed for increased economy of operation. And the famous for smoothness V8 engine has been improved to provide the greatest operating economy, plus the liveliest, peppiest performance in its history. Each of these powerful engines is an optional choice. Each is available in every model in the 1949 line of Ford cars. And out on the highway, the Ford in your future with its lower, safer center of gravity provides a smooth midship ride. Quiet as a whisper and gentle as a summer breeze. Here and here only is where the completely balanced engineering can really be enjoyed and fully appreciated. For instance, the new ease engineered in the steering mechanism and the new arrow straight flight of the car as it rolls along the road. Even in a strong crosswind, it continues to steer straight as an arrow. The balanced engineering in the new car brings a brand new driving sensation. One of the first features the driver appreciates is the greatly increased visibility. True picture window vision for added safety. When the Ford in your future sweeps around a curve, it hugs the road as never before. And the ride is perfectly balanced, beautifully smooth both on highways or byways. No matter how rough the driving surface, the new hydrocoil independent front springs, plus the velvet smooth action of the lubricated for life parallel rear springs, make the ride an unrivaled joy. And the 49 Ford is equipped with new, easy action, king-size brakes. Larger, longer lasting, safer, and smoother stopping. Just a light, easy touch of the toe, and the car comes to a smooth, sure stop. Yes, the new Ford for 1949 is breathtaking in the splendor of its design, ultra-modern in its features, and thrilling in its performance. A symphony in balanced engineering. A dream of tomorrow come true today. It's the Ford in your future for 1949.
Fine. Yes, I'd love to. Thanks, Jean. I'll be there. 2 o'clock. Goodbye. You know, 3 weeks ago, I couldn't have accepted that invitation. Like so many people these days, we live in the suburbs, and Dave needs the car every day for business. When he was gone, I was practically a prisoner in my own home. I couldn't get out to see my friends, couldn't take part in PTA activities. I couldn't even shop when I wanted to. I had to wait till Thursday night after Dave brought the car home. But that's all changed now. 3 weeks ago, we bought another Ford. The new, low-priced, custom-line Victoria. Isn't it stunning? Dave has it all to himself. And I now have the ranch wagon all to myself. It's a whole new way of life. Now I'm free to go anywhere, do anything, see anybody anytime I want to. It's only good common sense. Why be stuck with one expensive car when you can enjoy all the fun and freedom of 2 fine Fords?
Today, more and more families are finding out how easy it is to become 2 Ford families. You can choose from 20 different models, colors galore, and each available with Thunderbird power, with styling inspired by the famous Ford Thunderbird, and each with the extra protection of Ford's Lifeguard design. See your Ford dealers soon.
Les Firestein, for 17 years known as the Ford Man in the East Bay, officially delivers to Jack Frost of Fox West Coast Theaters 5 new Ford cars to be given away at the Fox Grand Lake, Fox Senator and State Theaters of Oakland, and the Fox California and Fox UC of Berkeley. Mr. Firestein turns the keys of these beautiful new models over to the employees of the East Bay Theaters, where the cars will be given away in Oakland on August the 5th, and in Berkeley, August 9th, where you may become the proud owner of one of these brand new Fords. Note the beauty of design, graceful and compact, though roomy, how easily they handle in traffic, and park on a dime. Miss Caleri and Miss Hugel of the Fox Theaters drop into Les Firestein's sales room, where he shows them the advantages of the new models, explaining that the cars are equipped with shatterproof glass, Hoodie thermostatically controlled hydraulic shock absorbers for greater riding comfort, and also that there are 183 square inches of brake lining for safety, and as many roller and ball bearings as are used in some cars, costing 4 times as much. The Ford is without question the most outstanding value today, and when you couple it with Les Firestein Super Service, it is a combination you cannot beat. Here they come up over the Broadway brick hill. 25 miles per hour at the bottom, she picks up all the way, gaining to 35 miles over the top. Now over the Fish Ranch Road in high gear, in a Les Firestein free-service Ford car at the rate of 30 miles per hour. Ah, what a car. Mr. Firestein is proud of his service department. Here are 25 factory-trained mechanics repairing and servicing customers' cars. Here, too, you will find the most modern and up-to-date shop equipment, which assures the most accurate workmanship. Mr. Firestein has spent 17 years in the Ford business in the East Bay, and by constant study and endeavor and personal attention throughout all these years, has built an organization of trained men who know how to serve. They know how to keep your car running satisfactorily at the lowest cost, and you know that your car is right when finished. The volume of business being large, the overhead is low. Consequently, the low prices are a delight to the present-day economically minded buying public. A complete stock of genuine Ford parts is carried at all times, as well as tires and accessories. Or if it's for a Ford, you'll find it here. Mr. Firestein invites you and urges you to come to his place or phone for a demonstration. Ride in the new car and drive it. Not a hair-raising wild ride, but a demonstration at the speed you like to travel. Get all the details of his broad and liberal service policy, which saves you money on upkeep. So remember, every week after the first drawing, there will be one of these new Ford cars given away absolutely.
thank you for inviting me into your meeting, because I think what I have to say will cause you to look at your new cars with a new appreciation of what they are as well as what they represent from the standpoint of proud heritage. You see, we who surround ourselves with the finer material things of life usually have a very high regard for the heritage, the traditions, the singleness of purpose of the institution or house that builds the product. So that's why I want to at least highlight for you the story of the Lincoln heritage. Although no one knew it at the time, the automotive destinies of the names Lincoln and Continental were beginning to take shape as long ago as 1913, along with the steadily forming tastes, character, and outlook of a young man who was then building a scrapbook, which I have borrowed. This scrapbook is filled with pictures of automobiles. When the book was started, the young man had already built at least one automobile of his own. He'd lost the tip of a finger in a lathe while doing so. The pictures he was saving were of automobiles whose appearances, in whole or in part, appealed to his highly selective and developing eye. Just look. A 1911 European car had the place of honor on page 1. Its name, Continental Pneumatique. Page after page was filled with pictures of the finest custom-built cars from all over the world. However, even back then, the heart of the young man was filled with a growing conviction and a wish that cars like these, or even finer, could be properly designed and built as production-type automobiles. And they would be styled not just to carry people from place to place, but to lift their spirits as well. This lad had a vital and natural interest in production-type automobiles because his name was Edsel Bryant Ford. In 1918, while this scrapbook was still building, American aviators and their allies were building significant value of a new kind into an already honored name, Lincoln. They were accomplishing this simply by demanding Lincoln-built Liberty engines before flying into combat. You see, there was a Lincoln Motor Company at that time. It was owned by Henry M. and his son, Wilfred Leland. But there'd been no Lincoln car. The Lincoln car did not appear until 1920. But when it did appear, because of the war record of the Lincoln-built engines, it was already endowed with a reputation as the finest expression of American precision manufacturing. And it was. But as you can see by this 1921 model, the styling left much to be desired. What people found to admire was the engine and chassis. Among those who appreciated the underlying high quality of the Lincoln engine and chassis were Henry and Edsel Ford, by this time ex-president and president, respectively, of a motor company with unparalleled resources. Still thinking in the terms of the dreams in his scrapbook, Edsel now saw how they might be brought into practical reality. He said, "Father has made the most popular car in the world. Now I would like to make the finest car in the world." And as you know, that firm resolve has never changed. So in February of 1922, Henry and Edsel Ford purchased the Lincoln Motor Company from the Lelands. Now, with the vast Ford resources behind the Lincoln, life was breathed into a dream based on the announced determination to build a car as nearly perfect as humanly possible. From an engineering standpoint, the first Lincolns were mechanical marvels. The precision engineering and craftsmanship were phenomenal. Why, at 100,000 miles, the car was considered no more than well broken in. In fact, many of the cars racked up 500,000 miles. Some went more than 1 million. But this kind of success represented only part of the fulfillment of Edsel Ford's dream. Because while he was building his scrapbook, he had built within himself a hunger for a car of beauty, grace, dignity, and good taste, as well as for mechanical excellence. And what's more, it was to be a production-type automobile. It's interesting to note that the last few entries in the scrapbook were not pasted in. They were merely slipped in, loose. And in about 1925, the scrapbook was put aside. Its maker was sufficiently inspired. He was now involved in the job of inspiring others, and this was a full-time job. Edsel Ford found that the biggest part of his job was to overcome a deep-rooted prejudice in favor of old methods. For instance, it had never been an industry practice to style a car first and design a conforming chassis afterwards. The practice instead had always been to meet a mechanical goal as conveniently as possible and then to put a body on the result. Well, no company in America was better equipped to follow the established procedures than the Ford Motor Company. However, no one was less willing to let it remain that way than Edsel Ford, so he did something about it. His first move was to commission the world's finest coach workers to design custom Lincoln bodies of truly classic beauty. These included such master craftsmen as Holbrook, LeBaron, Dietrich, Brun, Judkins, Willoughby, and Locke. The resulting cars were distinctively beautiful and proved beyond all doubt the soundness behind Edsel Ford's conviction that classic styling and mechanical excellence could be wedded in one fine car. These classic creations established the Lincoln as the leader in automotive styling. Everything that went into the design, style, and building of the car, or into the promotion of the Lincoln name, was judged on the basis of whether or not it was as nearly perfect as humanly possible. Those 6 words described the singleness of purpose that was building the foundation of a fine heritage. Nothing less than this ideal of perfection was considered acceptable for the Lincoln. And 4 more words described the manner in which all of these things were being done. They were with impeccable good taste, a reflection of the way Edsel Ford looked at automobiles, at his fellow man, or at life itself. It's interesting to see how these ideals are expressed in the promotional material for the middle and late 20s. It was during this time that the image of Lincoln was being built strongly in the public mind as the world's finest car. And to coincide with the showings of the car for the year 1925, in special exhibits in New York and Chicago, Lincoln published this famous Salon Bird book. It was not only a tasteful piece of advertising, but in itself, the book was a notable contribution to the graphic arts of that day. The book explained and illustrated how Lincoln designers had taken their color schemes from the beautiful plumage of exotic birds and wrought color harmonizing Lincoln interiors and exteriors of classic elegance. Page after page revealed new and exciting color combinations. The copy described the birds, their colors, and habits. And almost as an afterthought, it casually went into a description of the car and discussed that with the reader, asking his opinion. Going through the book was almost like paying a visit to a gracious home. But Lincoln didn't forget, nor let its friends forget, that along with all this grandeur, there had to be a car as nearly perfect as humanly possible from the standpoint of engineering and manufacturing craftsmanship. So they published literature telling the story of Lincoln's unexcelled craftsmanship. The books proudly highlighted the supremely fine workmanship and infinite care that went into the construction of the Lincoln chassis. Here was precision craftsmanship so perfect that as the book says, a new Lincoln, when delivered, may be driven wide open the first mile. Do you begin to see or feel what I meant about the proud heritage of Lincoln? As it is today, this same ideal of good taste and unexcelled craftsmanship was reflected in these advertisements of the early and mid-20s. Just listen to some of this copy. October 1924, precision. Everyone admires the dignity of the Lincoln's outward beauty, but only those of advanced technical understanding fully appreciate the marvel of its mechanical perfection. By this time, the name Lincoln, founded on the policy of both unexcelled craftsmanship and good taste, began to triumph among fine cars. As a result, when it came to prestige, Lincoln far surpassed Packard and Cadillac. And Lincoln became the favored car of social leaders, celebrities, government heads, and royal families the world over. In 1939, Edsel Ford again took an historic step which added still greater strength to the prestige value of the Lincoln heritage. He designed a brand new car. It had a long hood, exposed spare tire, and a formal upper structure. It was strictly modern in feeling, but ageless in character. True, it was built as a personal car for himself. But when he drove it on a vacation in Florida, things began to happen. He was not on business and had solicited no one. But he returned burdened with literally hundreds of orders that had been thrust at him by prestige-minded car buyers. So was born the Lincoln Continental. The famed Continentals which followed were immediately acclaimed as classics. And before many years, the name Continental had become almost as legendary as the name Lincoln had ever been. Even today, these early Continentals are still admired and highly prized, and their owners have formed clubs for annual get-togethers, their only common tie being the fact that they are the envied possessors of early edition Continentals. Even after the war, the names Lincoln and Continental were still reflecting their proud heritage. And in 1955, the Continental Mark II appeared. The reputation for classic beauty was again enhanced tremendously. In 1956, the designers of the completely new Lincoln Premier Hardtop Coupe received the first styling award ever given to an automobile by the Industrial Designers Institute. And in 1958, a totally restyled Lincoln family of fine cars, even more classic in character and even more deserving of the legendary Lincoln heritage, was joined by the Continental Mark III. And as you know, these fine cars immediately captured the respect and admiration of the entire automotive world. And now, in a completely new precision manufacturing plant of its very own, new and more rigid quality controls add strength to Lincoln's lifelong pledge to build a car as nearly perfect as humanly possible. This exclusive plant, specifically designed for fine car building, with the most modern tools and methods, is the place where, from now on, Lincoln's traditional classic beauty and unexcelled craftsmanship will continue to live and add still more prestige to an already proud heritage that found its beginning back in the early 20s. And just as it was true then, today that same careful attention to detail, the same skilled handwork, and that same personal pride in craftsmanship is being reflected in the product. The story of the aristocratic heritage back of the proud names of Lincoln and Continental is one that perhaps many of you already knew. Nevertheless, I felt it important to remind you of it. Why? Well, the traditions, the heritage of a product can be just as important to you who build and sell that product as the pure bloodlines of a thoroughbred are important to the breeder who preserves and refines the original image of the sire and the finest characteristics of the line. In a like manner, the image of the original Continental has been preserved and refined until today it can be described as the Ultra, of which nothing can be finer. The thoroughbred characteristics of the Lincoln, too, its classic beauty, its unexcelled craftsmanship, have been preserved and refined through the process of evolution. Actually, all I want is to cause you to look today at your new Lincoln and Continental in the light of the original ideals, the traditions, the heritage they represent. It's a rich heritage, a heritage of which all of you can be proud. And you can be equally proud of the important contribution each of you can make during the coming years to add new laurels and even greater prestige to the living heritage of Lincoln. Well, that's all I wanted to say. So, thank you again for letting me say it.